Hi guys, so recently the Midnight Crafter uploaded a video of her bedroom tour, and in it, framed on the wall, was a gorgeous cross stitch picture. Now I thought that she'd bought this and it turned out she'd made it herself, and really kindly she sent me a link as to where I could buy one. So I went ahead and bought one, and I thought I'd show you guys kind of what it looked like before and after I've completed it. Now if we delve into this mountain of which I call my bed, you may notice this cushion here which I made myself, and this is a cross stitch which I did using a pattern I bought off of Etsy. I think the pattern cost me around £5, and I already had this kind of backing fabric. I cross stitched Audrey 2, which is from one of my favourite films, The Little Shop of Horrors. Now although that one is on a cushion, I always wanted to make one to frame, so when I saw the ones that the Midnight Crafter had, I was so excited. I sent the Midnight Crafter a message and she directed me to a shop called Sew and Sew, as in S-E-W and S-O. Again, I will link them down in the description below like I always do, and also a direct link to this exact cross stitch in case you're interested. Now they have 101 different spooky cross stitches on there, which is amazing. I'm so glad that they don't have it kind of as a seasonal thing, because there were ghost ones, there were cat ones, there were witches and pumpkins, and I thought I'd start off with this one because it was relatively small and see how it goes, and then if I enjoy it and it looks somewhat like how it's meant to end up looking, then I'm definitely going to buy another one. At the moment as well, Sew and Sew a sale on, which means that £1 off of this, so it only cost me £8.99, and then I got delivery which was first class, and I only ordered this 3 days ago and the delivery was only £1, so overall this cost me £9.99. It comes with not only the picture of what you're meant to be doing, but everything you need to create it. So it comes with the pattern, which I thought I would just be buying the pattern. I didn't think I'd get everything else with it, but it comes with the pattern, the backing that you actually cross stitch onto, all the fabric you need, various little beads that go into the design, and also a bat button. Now while I was on the site, I did actually just search for bat, and on there were like 101 different bat buttons and various bat products, which you can buy kind of pins and things on there as well. If any of you are looking for some cheap bat buttons, that is the place to go. So this is what I'm going to try and create. It's a little kind of autumny tree with a full moon in the background, and also these like 6 little ghosts dancing around. In the tree there's those little shimmery beads that go in there, and also this is a bat button that you stick above the moon. So I've opened it up and it comes with the square on which you cross stitch this onto. Now I've never actually cross stitched onto this kind of thing before, because this is more like a rigid piece of plastic rather than what I've done before, which is kind of fabric, and I've had to put it into like a cross stitching hoop. Now this slightly terrifies me. This is a pattern which looks very complex, and it's all kind of coded so you can understand what you're doing. Then comes with all the thread that you'd need, so hopefully there is enough there. I'm sure that they wouldn't supply you with not enough to make this. There's 2 bags of little beads in here. And last but not least, a little bat button to go on the design at the end, and this is from a company called the Button Collection, which I'm sure you could probably buy off of the website as well. And this also reminds me, on the website they have a full kit for making and sewing your own bat. I was considering buying it, so if any of you are interested in seeing that, do let me know. I think it already comes pre-cut and everything, so you just need to kind of sew it all together and add all the finishing details. So I'm going to go ahead and read this and see what I can make of it. I'm then going to start doing my cross stitch, and I will return maybe later today, maybe in a week, maybe in a month, maybe in a year. I've been doing this cross stitch for a couple of hours now, and as you can see I have just kind of got the trunk of the tree nearly finished. The pattern itself took me a little while to get to grips with, just because it's all done through symbols and things, but I finally kind of worked it out, and now I'm kind of getting more into the swing of it, so it's a little bit easier. But I thought I'd show you this so far. So this took me probably about 2 hours. I've been working on it. So I've got the little hole with the 2 little spooky eyes in it, and the beginning of a tree going on. I didn't realise there was that many beads in it, but as you can see, most of this trunk is actually beads, so they take a little while just because I have to keep swapping out my needles. But what's really handy is in the pack they had provided me with needles anyway, so it's just working out which is the right needle. And I have just finished the second outline of a ghost. At the moment they're looking slightly strange, but the ghosts will go all the way around the tree, and I feel like once I start filling these in, they're gonna become like a little bit more shapely and look a little bit more like ghosts. I'm having to whisper because it's like the middle of the night and everyone has gone to bed, but this is as far as I've got with it today. I've nearly finished this one ghost and there's a second one, but although it doesn't look like it, there's about 4 or 5 different shades of grey and white which need to go into it just to kind of do the tiny little details, so it takes a long time to do. But I'm pretty pleased with it so far, and I just need to finish off this one's bottom of the sheet and bits iron, and then I will have one of the 6 ghosts done. I haven't added any more to the tree, I've just kind of left it for now because it's quite intricate at the top and I kind of use this bit for holding, so it's kind of easier to do the central stuff first. I think I'm probably about on the 4-hour mark now. I'm not too quick just because the actual instructions are quite hard to get to grips with, and I haven't done cross stitch for a long while, so it's taking me kind of a long time to do, but I'm going to leave it for now and go to bed. So it's about a week since I started this cross stitch. It's taking so much longer than I expected it to, but with every single stitch I'm falling more in love with it. As you can see, it's probably moved on quite a lot since I last filmed. I did take pictures throughout the process just to kind of document it a bit. So the way I'm doing this is I'm just literally picking it up every time I've got a spare couple of hours. Like over the weekend I watched the entire 2 seasons of The Witches of East End. Side note, if you haven't seen it and you have Netflix, watch it. Like the first episode I thought it was a little bit cheesy, but I got so into it, and without spoiling it, the end of season 2 cannot end like that. Like I need another season. Anyway, regardless of that, I spent 2 seasons worth of The Witches of East End doing this, so although I was kind of watching it at the same time, I was getting there. Now all the ghosties are done. The main thing I had problem with when I was doing these is that within the ghosties there's about 5 different colours, and it is so hard to tell the difference between them. There's white, there's very light grey, there's light grey, there's medium grey, there's dark grey, and there's very dark grey, and there's ivory, and I'm like, they all look the same. As you can see, like now they're finished, you can understand why they had the different colours to make the definition. I'm sure I probably did a few of the colours a bit wrong, but I'm really pleased with how it turned out anyway. The beading took forever. I also lost my beading needle because I keep like taking this different places, so I had to buy some more. If any of you are planning to do this, you can get like little beading needles from Sainsbury's for like £1 for a pack of like 10 of them. I've finished the tree now as well. I need to add a few more beads up here and also like a few in the moon and things. This pack came with a bat button to stick on the moon. Now I had this kept safe, and as you can see the bat button was like glued onto here. When I took the bat button off to sew it to the moon, I was really not pleased with the way it looked. It looked a little bit blobby. Like I feel like it still looked really nice and effective. I just felt like due to the kind of time and the detail that's put into all these ghosts to make them really defined in shape, the bat looked really blobby. So I got this bat button myself. I actually had this already, but I know that on this website you can buy more defined bat buttons like this, so I would definitely recommend, if you're making this, to buy this set and then like spend the extra 99p getting like a more defined bat, just because I think it looks better, but that's my personal opinion anyway. I've done the green bit in the tree, so now I've started I just need to do kind of the leafy bushy bit around them, and then it'll be finished. Even though this is taking more than 100 years to do, I absolutely love it. Like this was probably the best £10 I've spent this year so far on crafting supplies. It's very relaxing, and although at first the like grid took me a while to get used to, I am totally in it now. Like my head has worked it out and I'm storming ahead. Now that I'm this close, I cannot give up. So hopefully, definitely, I will see you when this is finished. Okay, so an update, I have got this far. It has now been about a week and 2 days since I started this cross stitch, and last night I finished the greenery of the tree. I think last time I checked in with you I had finished the moon, I think I'd finished the moon. So since then I've done all the green in the tree, which are these vines. I'm gonna let you into a secret. I got so confused with the pattern that I kind of made it up a little bit, but I still think it came out okay. I added these green vines and they've got various little buttons and things on them, and I've just started to do all these kind of like bushes and leaves. At first I wasn't quite sure about these, like I felt like it almost looked better without them, just with like the little ghost dancing, but I'm determined to finish because I have seen one of these finished and it looked amazing. So I feel like maybe I'm just trying to procrastinate from finishing it, but I'm so close and still very ill. So I'm sure I'll be getting this finished over the weekend. So I have finally finished it. I finished it at literally, I think it was about 1/4 midnight the other night while I was babysitting. My pattern is completely scribbled over. Everything has been covered. As I was doing it, I was scribbling bits of the pattern out so I knew what was left. And it was like the most satisfying thing coming to the end of it. But now I also feel like there's an empty void inside me because I don't know what to do. So I've ordered another one which is from the same series and it's equally as spooky, and it contains some black cats. So I'm super excited to get that. That was shipped off this morning, so it should be here tomorrow or Wednesday. So this is what it looks like now it's finished. I'm really glad that I did do all the bit around the bottom because to me it kind of looks like they're dancing in a pile of different autumny leaves, and I just think it kind of finishes the whole thing off. As you can see, this, which was originally very kind of sturdy, it was quite like, it felt like a very sort of rigid plastic, it's now become more like a, I guess like a fabric. It's become a lot more flexible, and I don't know if that's just because it's been moved around a lot and bent and things, but it's definitely a lot more kind of pliable than it was to begin with. But I'm really pleased with how this turned out, and after I finished this I went on a frame hunt. I thought it would be so hard to find a frame for this just because it is kind of a strange size. I think it's either 5 or 6 inches by 5 or 6 inches. I was just gonna buy like a general photo frame and just kind of have like gaps either side of it, but I really wanted a square frame for this to fit into. I did end up going to TK Maxx to look for a frame and they had 0, so I kind of was about to give up until I went to Sainsbury's literally just to buy some sweet things, and I came across some square decorative frames. So these frames cost £3.50 I think. They did have some cheaper ones there which were £1, but they were out of stock, and I was really glad that they came in black because I thought it would go with my whole like black wall frame aesthetic thing. Although I'm not sure if I'm going to have this standing up or actually hung on the wall. I'm not too sure yet. But I did actually get 2 of these frames. One of them I've got out of the packet already, just because I have ordered the second one, and because they're the same series I thought they'd look good in matching frames. Now when I got these I was a tiny bit worried because they're double mounted frames, which means they've got like this double mount inside. The main reason I got them is because they're quite deep, which means they'll fit the actual kind of beads in. Firstly, I was so happy that this came out, otherwise the picture really would not have fitted into the frame. It was a risk I'm glad I took because this does come out. And also, look how good this is for sizing. It fits in there literally perfectly, so I'm really glad I found these. You keep this like backing just in the back anyway, just to kind of keep it all pushed forward. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make like a little border. So rather than using the border that they provide, which is a little bit too thick, I'm going to see if I can make a little one. If not, I think I'll just leave it like this because it looks really cool. But if I can make maybe like a 1/2 inch border, I think it will finish it all off. There you go. I ended up going for a red border because I thought I'd do white, but then I thought it may look a little bit too white with the ghost as well, and black and red is always a fantastic combination. So I'm really pleased with how this turned out, and I cannot wait to get my next one and start that one. And now that this one is framed, it feels like it is officially finished. So overall, I think this must have taken me at least 24 hours to do. Overall, it took me a week and 5 days, I think it was, to completely finish this. And that's probably with a good at least 2-hour session a day of doing this. It's way longer than I thought it was going to take to do, but it's definitely way more satisfying to finish than I also expected. I would 100% recommend this for anyone who's looking for some kind of relaxing craft to do, or something just to make them feel a little bit more spooky. It's definitely a very kind of positive thing, I think, to do, because you are continuously seeing things develop and things look more like ghosts and trees. And overall, I think it was a very enjoyable experience and definitely well worth the £9.99 I spent on it. So if you guys do end up buying any cross-stitch patterns, do let me know down below which ones you got. The next one I got, I think, is called Kittens in the Moonlight or something, and it's also super spooky and there's pumpkins in it, and I am so excited. If you'd like to see a similar video of this documenting how my next one went, then do let me know. I'm sure all of these take different lengths of time to do and different lengths of patience. I did want to say I ended up with lots of spare beads and lots of spare thread. When I was doing this, I was really worried that it was going to be like an exact amount that they had in the pack, and if I lost any of them, I would then like not be able to put them onto here. But it seems like they give you at least 50% extra than what you need, which is really handy if you're like me and you're continuously dropping the beads all over the floor. So thank you for watching. If you've got any questions or comments, please do leave them below. If it's sunny where you are, I hope you're enjoying the shade, and I'll see you next time. Bye!